Plushfire finally gets an errata, and we actually have Performage support for you today. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on us. And we finally have actual Performage cards, besides what, like the Hat Trigger, the Trick Clown, you know, Trapeze Magician, and Plushfire, which Plushfire did get an errata. So, starting things off here is the Performage Fire Dancer. And this thing's quite lengthy. It's on a pendulum scale 6. Level 4, and of course, it is a spellcast monster, and it's fire, doesn't matter. So, pendulum effect, once per turn, we can target a Performage card or monster you control. This turn, it gets the ability to inflict trample damage on your opponent. Not the greatest extra effect, but it's a free pendulum scale effect. So, monster effect, only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. So, on normal or special, we can add a Performage monster from our deck to our hand, except for Fire Dancer. Okay. And if this card on the field is destroyed by battle card effect, target one face-up monster on the field, it loses 500 attack. Now, before you're like, okay, so it's a Stratos, sure, but do I really care about that destroyed to give something 500 or lose 500? Yes, you do, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit after you've committed a very large amount of monsters to this gimmick. Next up is the Water Dancer. So, this is actually kind of cool. You have fire and water available here. So this is going to be pendulum scale 2. So you have 3 to 5 being your pendulum scales you can actually swing for. And of course, pendulum effect, you only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. So if we control a pendulum monster, we can special summon this card. I mean, okay, a free little special. When a monster declares an attack, you can target one attack position monster, change it to defense position. I mean, it's a free rotation effect, sure. Monster effect, if this card is pendulum summon, you can add a polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I do think it is kind of cute that they do try to incorporate more of the original feel for polymerization into these style of decks, but okay. And if this card is destroyed by battle card effect, you can target an attack position monster on the field and change it to defense mode. Okay. A lot of potential defense changing here, but overall, is this card broken? I mean, it searches for poly, I guess. Alright, then we have the Performage Wind Drainer. Yeah, this thing looks like a Performapal if one ever actually existed, and this is going to be a 4 scale on a level 5 with 2100 attack. So, pendulum scale effect. Once per turn, we can target one Performage monster you control to activate one of these effects. We can reduce its level by 1 or increase this card's pendulum scale by that monster's. Man, this could go to a 10 scale technically, but then that means if you got 6 to 10 on those pendulum scales, that seems kind of awful. Monster effect, you only use the first effect once per turn. So if your opponent controls a monster or a Performage in monsters on the field, we can special summon this from the hand, but you get locked out of special summoning except for Performage monsters while this is on the field. The new little pseudo lock that they've got going here. On special summon, you can reduce its level by 1, so we can go to level 4. And then once per turn, you can change the level of all level 4 Performage monsters you currently control to 5. Alright, that's going to be a very relevant sub-effect, especially when we start getting into some of the Xyz stuff in here. Now, we also have... Man, this looks like a Mario villain. I'm not going to lie to you. Or actually a Mega Man villain. Probably more of a Mega Man villain. So this is the Performage Cup Trigger. On a level 5, Pendulum Scale 1, 1200 attack, 1400 defense. Pendulum effect. You can only use the first second because this card's name once per turn. So we can target a Performage Xyz monster you control. Attach this card to it as material. So it sucks itself up out of the Pendulum Scale, which is kind of cool. If a card of cards is added to your extra deck, you can add a face-up Performage Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So we actually get some pretty decent background sub-recursion going. And then monster effect, if this card is in your hand, targeting a Xyz monster on the field, detaching material from it, and if you do, we can special summon this card, and then when a Xyz monster on the field loses 600 attack. You know, all these targeting bad effects, they're going to add up here in a second, trust me. And if this card is detached from an Xyz material and sent to the graveyard, to activate the monster effect, target 2 Xyz monsters you control, detach one material from one of them, and attach it to the other. So we get a, as the name highly insists here, you get a little bit of a switcheroo there on those materials. And then we have the Performage Trapeze Force Switch. Yes, this is, the reason you did all that, switcherooing was because, why you play the polys because of this. So it's 2 Performage monsters. So your opponent cannot target Performage monsters you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by battle. I mean, for 2400 to have that sort of protection effect, I suppose is fine. Your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks while you control another Performage monster other than the Witch. And then when an attack is declared involving your Performage monster and an opponent's monster, you can make that opponent's monster with 600 attack. I'm going to be completely honest with you here. I don't currently see a reason to play this card in the deck, especially with this next card. So this is, I think, one of the most interesting cards that we got today. So this is a generic rank 5. And it is 3 level 5 monsters to make this with 2600 attack and 1000 defense. And you can only use the first and third effects of this card's name once per turn. So, first effect, you can detach a material from this card, send a Performage monster from your deck to the graveyard, so you can actually drop, some of the little assistant cards that you need, and then you can add a rank up spell card from your deck to your hand. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, the second effect here is very interesting. When a card effect is activated that targets this card, quick effect, when you detach a material from this card, special summon a Performage Shadow Maker from your extra deck. This can summon a copy of itself. And that second effect is not a once per turn. So all that attack modifying stuff that you were playing on those pendulum scales? You can bring out technically 3 copies of this from the extra deck. And if the last materials is detached from this card, you can special summon a Performage monster from your graveyard. Now, and once again, you're probably like, why do we want to, what are we going to do with those monsters? F-Zero. This actually, if you're doing all of this manipulation to set this stuff up, you can actually get to the F-Zero to have it on the side for this. Actually, it's pretty good. Then we have the Performage Trapeze High Magician. Once again, I really wish this was a little bit more generic, but I mean, it is 2 level 5 spellcaster monsters to make, which is not the worst in the world for a 2700 attack. So this can't be destroyed by battle card effects while it has material. Well, yeah, that's pretty decent. Your opponent takes any effect damage you would take instead. You can only apply this effect a number of times per turn up to the number of materials attached to this card. Of course, you can only make this a twice per turn effect, sure. And if this card has Performage Trapeze Magician as material, it gains the following effect, which lets you detach a material from this card. This card can make an attack on up to 3 times during the battle phase, not on just monsters. You can get 3 direct attacks with this bad boy, which actually is kind of cool that they allowed that. Then we have the Rank Up Magic Force. Oh boy. So, you only activate this card with this card's name once per turn. We can target 1 rank 4 spellcaster monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but its effects are negated. And if you do, special summon a rank 5 spellcaster sea monster from that extra deck by using the first monster as material. And if you do, attach this card to it as an additional material. So you're getting 2 off this. It's on a quick play, by the way, for the rank up. And this was actually pretty good. So, Performage Errata for the plush fire. So, you can only use this effect, or the pendulum effect, this card's name, once per turn. So, if they face a Performage monster you control is destroyed by battle card effect, you can special summon this card and you take 500. But they have destroyed this card. So monster effect. Now you can only use monster effect this card's name once per turn. If this card in the field is destroyed by battle card effect, you can special summon 1 Performage monster from your hand or deck except for plush fire. What got changed is the monster effect. It was given the casually referred to as the hard once per turn. Sorry, plush fire. You're fair again. And you know what? I'm fine with this. Overall, I think this card's pretty insane. There's no locking with this. You just drop this on the field, do your sub effects, and just kind of roll on through with the multitude of free value that kind of comes off of this. I like this card a lot. I think there's something to be said about this. I'm just kind of curious to know what else we can do with this. But overall, I mean, this is okay stuff. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you. Ugh.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.